Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, all right, all right.
Fist to the sky, no more tears, gritting teeth, burning
Oh,
fears,
thank you.
running through streets of fire, in our hearts sparks of desire. Stumbling blocks, endless race, dreams etched
What's
on
going on,
every
everybody?
face. Sweat drops drip like rain, pushing past endless pain. Rising
Woo!
flame, feel the heat, beating drums, steady beat. In the
Yes, what's
rain,
going
still we
on? What's
fight.
going on?
Through the dark, to the light.
All right, all right, all right. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome to another episode of the Daily Growth Clinic Power Hour, where we come together to grow. Yes, yes, yes. I hope you're ready because today is going to be a pivoting point for all of us. Remember, this is a show where we get together one day, every day, 1 hour between 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the intention of growth in wealth, in success, and in fulfillment. That's what we want. So, if that's something that resonates with you, then please join us. Thank you for coming by. And if that's not something that resonates with you, then all the love to you. And we wish you an amazing rest of the day. For those of you who are here and that appeals to you, howdy. What's happening, Durut? I really appreciate you being here. And every day we've been trying for 39 days to come together and discuss ideas, discuss strategies, discuss tools that are practical, that would allow us to foster a quicker growth experience. Hello, how are you doing, Nilakshi from YouTube? So I see some of your messages on YouTube, and here's the thing, there's nothing to sell you in this. This is just a power hour. So if you are after those three things, growth in wealth, fulfillment, and success, as strategists, as consultants, we are coming to you once every day for an hour, trying to share the strategies, the tools that we find and we provide for our clients who pay thousands of dollars for these. So the idea is the growth of the greater good. Uh, and the idea is that together, yes, it is live actually, snaps on. Yes, yes, of course we have. That's one of the things. And snaps on Petro is saying, do we have any solutions for debilitating anxiety? And how many of you guys, by the way, feeling anxiety? All of us, all of us. If you're a human, you feel anxiety at all times for different reasons. And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot. Because if you and when you're ready to take control of your life and you want to build it your way, one of the most important things that you will learn that all the successful people have done, that you could study, because everything is patterns, Whether we are talking time, whether we're talking society, whether we're talking our own psychology, we are patterns 95% statistically and scientifically by the time we are 35 years old, of the things we think about, of the things we do, and the things that we feel. So the feelings, the things that go through our minds, the thoughts, as well as what we do and don't do, 95% by the time we are 35 years old. Today is the same as yesterday. Those are patterns. Well, snaps on Petro. I don't know what your name is. I would really appreciate if you shared your name with me or whatever you want me to call you. But thank you for sticking by and thank you for sharing this because you're not alone. And if you stick around, we'll talk just with you and with everybody else who feels like they also have panic attacks almost every day. And by the way, again, you may not feel that you're having a full on panic attack. For most people, we just suppress those feelings with just pushing on and pretending like we're strong and we got to just figure this out. And that actually starts taking a physical toll on our bodies, on our immune system, on our health. So we now know through epigenetics that so much of what happens as chronic illnesses in humanity is manifesting because of suppressed emotions. And so, yeah, let's talk about this, brother. Let's talk about this. Uh, well, his name is Mitchell. All right. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you for sharing your name with me, too. So, Mitchell, listen to this, bro. The thing is, scientifically, and I'm talking to you all about science because this is what we get paid for, to go conduct research on behalf of our clients who are very wealthy and they don't have the time to figure out the strategies. They just want the best strategies. Yes, that's something that the wealthy do. The more money you have, you actually purchase back your time, earn back your time by buying it through money. So you don't do things that normal people will have to do on a day-to-day basis, such as cooking, such as doing your own research, such as doing your own work. You just make your money work for you. And that's what you learn very quickly. So one of the things we have to learn, as I was saying, as a part of patterns of behavior, is that we have to build emotional mastery. And the reason we feel anxiety and stress is because we don't have emotional control. It's because we literally are becoming respondents to our circumstances rather than creators of our circumstances, of our reality. So this is a hard science fact what I'm talking to you about, because what we talk about is all based on physics, quantum physics, based on psychology, based on neurolinguistic programming, based on the teachings of some of the most brilliant humans today who are doing the hardest amount of work researching themselves. And we go to all of these people trying to collect information. So Mitchell, listen to this, brother. The reason humans, okay, here, listen to it this way, think about it this way. Anxiety is essentially, you have to understand what anxiety is, what stress is, if we are able to deal with it. Okay, we have to understand it. And please, this may sound boring, but it's not boring. This is about the way you function internally. If you're not interested to figure out how this machine works and operates, then you're never going to be able to actually operate it. I don't understand this. This is beyond me. It's beyond me how like people want to drive a car and you have to go learn how rules of the road are, read it, do the test, and then somebody got to sit beside you, teach you how to drive the car, and all you got to do is to steer the wheel and do the gas and brake. Really, that's all you're doing. Most people don't even drive stick shifts anymore. So really, you get trained so much to use such a simple machine that only has the wheel and just the braking gas. This is the most complex machine on this planet, literally, that is working autonomously on its own. It's breathing, the heart is working, There's 1 million cells within this machine are being replaced on a second to second basis. And this machine has a hardware just like your phone, and it has a software just like your phone. So the hardware must be maintained, and it maintains itself through a process that is driven by a part of your body called the autonomic nervous system, ANS they call it, that just keeps on producing and giving the orders to different parts of the body through the nervous system to do what the body needs to do, such as breathing, the heartbeat, the thinking, the moving, the repairing of the body. This is so critical. Stay with it. And I'm asking all of you, this is not only for Mitchell. Mitchell is the one who just stepped up to the plate today and he's asking the questions. This is for every human. There is no one human on this planet who doesn't experience anxiety, stress. And today it is so chronic that we have all sorts of diseases of the mind that are results of chronic stress, chronic anxiety. So let's get back with it. The autonomic nervous system is a part of the nervous system of the body that is supposed to drive this machine. Because you're not thinking about breathing right now. You're not thinking about your heart beating. You don't do that. It's happening on its own. You don't think about the million cells every second that they have to be replaced, but something within you is issuing those orders and managing and controlling and where the cells got to go, where the cells got to be made. That intelligent, that innate intelligence is coming from the autonomic nervous system, ANS. So part of the reptilian brain, it's the lower part, but it's where the orders are going. At a 95% of the thoughts, including the thoughts to move your body, do things, not do things, to think things, 95% every day, it is the same as yesterday, statistically, by the time we are 35 years old, which means we're only 5% of our waking hours consciously making new decisions. 95% is just habits and patterns that are just happening at a subconscious level. This means you waking up in the morning, the way you wake up, how you get out of your bed, how you actually, which foot you use to get off your bed first. Then what do you do the first thing? Do you go for your phone, or do you go sit on the toilet, or do you go wash your face? It is all the same thing. Then the next thing happens, and the next thing happens, and it all happens in the same order. So I want you to understand that statistically, all of us, all humans, of that 95% that is the same by the time we are 35, and it actually gets more than 95 by the time usually we are like at about 50, it's like 97%. That's why people become so difficult to change. But anyways, of those 60%, so 2/3 of the 60,000 thoughts, about 45,000 thoughts, 2/3 of the time our mind, our brain is focusing on what is missing, what is not available, what is putting me on fear, what is triggering me 60% of the time. And that, the moment, I want you to understand this, the feeling of anxiety is just a byproduct of what is happening inside your mind, because feelings are not created on their own. They're created within this contained machine, and the brain is the one that creates those feelings through the thoughts, through the orders that it issues. So if you feel anxiety anytime, if anytime you feel stress, anytime you feel like that ball of fire, like churning here in your stomach, like, oh, like, what is this? Or anytime you feel like you're just sore, any feeling in your body always precedes with a thought. And that thought is always started with where your attention is focusing itself. Pay attention to what I just said. If your attention, if your focus goes on something right now, because at any moment, your attention and focus can be on one thing entirely, maybe the way it is right now. If you're watching this, hopefully, and you're not doing other things, that means you're 100% into it. If you're Mitchell, I know you're right now here with me. So your attention can be on one thing, or it could be on multiple things. And the thing is, we call that multitasking. So I have a little bit of my attention here. I'm doing this, I'm writing this, I'm also driving, and I'm also drinking my water. This is multitasking. However, we know scientifically that when your attention is on more than one thing, your attention is really on neither of one of those two things. This is done so many times in studies of statistics that come out of workplaces, where we know, for example, half an hour of focused work on effort and energy on one task gives you as much as 3 hours of productivity, as if you were to just do multitasking and do the same thing. We know that there's so many scientific studies out on these now. So I want you to understand your attention and your focus at any moment, Mitchell, our brain is constantly asking three questions. This is foundational to understanding anxiety and stress. Chronic anxiety and stress, by the way, cause all sorts of illness in the body, all sorts of weird migraine problems, other than lack of water, by the way. Always have your water. 60% of your body mass is water. 60% of planet Earth is water surface. You think that's coincidental? How much of your daily intake of what you enter into your mouth is water, not coffee, not tea, not Coca-Cola, because those all actually create deficiencies of the actual water. They dehydrate you more. Please drink your water. Minimum 2 liters a day. That's how much you lose through different parts of your mechanism. Urinating, sweating, breathing. You're always putting out water. Please drink water. Okay, back to the anxiety and stress. A lot of the anxiety and stress in humans happen always, 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 because our focus went on something that made us feel unsafe and uncertain. There are three questions the brain is constantly always asking itself. Always. These are the only three questions that your brain cares about. What what do I focus on right now? Because it has five senses where it can connect to the external world. It needs to filter a lot of the information through the eyes, through the ears, through the taste. Everything gets filtered. What you think, what you see is what you're seeing? No way. Have you ever bought a car and then you realize the day after you buy your car, you see your car everywhere in the street? What you think, just because you bought a car, everybody else bought the same car at the same time? No. The reason you just see it the next day is because all of a sudden the same information you were seeing every day and you were not noticing it, a part of your brain called the reticular activating system is upgraded with a new piece of information that your brain thinks it's important to its survival, which is the car that I have, because now when I see more of it, it builds familiarity and connection. Therefore, our brain goes into, I feel good about this. So it starts connecting with more of them. But what I'm trying to tell you is at any point, our brain is processing billions of information in terms of audio, video, taste, smell, senses of touch, the intuition. Billions of information points are being processed in the brain. What you focus on becomes your experience. Pay attention to what I just said. What you focus on becomes your experience. You don't experience life, you experience the life you focus on. because whatever your brain wants to focus on, now it will ask. That was the first question, remember, what should I focus on? That's always a number one question of the brain. Number two question that the brain always asks itself is, what does this mean? What does this mean? Every time the brain puts its attention on something, it wants to give that thing a meaning for it to feel whether it's safe or it's not safe. Because remember, your brain that drives the entire machine and creates the thoughts, the feelings, and everything you're feeling, it's all happening through the brain, just has two jobs. Two jobs. It has no other job. It doesn't make your life for you. It doesn't make life decisions. No, it has two jobs. Its number one job is to help you survive, and number two job is to do number one using the least amount of calories. That's why humans are lazy by default, because as long as they feel like what they're doing is enough to survive, now they want to use the least amount of calories to do so, because the brain has been programmed through billions of years that it must retain calories. So therefore, it should not make massive efforts. It should minimize the efforts it should take as long as it's safe. Snaps on petrol. Thank you so much. That's perfectly fine. I appreciate you being with us, and I appreciate you starting this conversation as he's saying he has to jump out of this. These videos are always available to you on this very channel. You can always come to our YouTube channel, watch the replays, and you can go on our Instagram or on our Twitter or LinkedIn through the same name and talk to me directly if you want, because there are so many questions that we take. By the way, I'm going to continue with this. I just wanted to kind of input this, that these videos are available to you. We're literally sharing this with you for your growth. I'm advocating for you to become your own best version of yourself. I'm not selling you nothing here. There's nothing to sell you. So thank you, Mitchell. Remember, the brain always asks, let's go back to this. 3 questions. The job of the brain is to help you survive. How does it do that? Using the least amount of calories. That's what your brain's job is. Don't make it complicated. Everything else you think that it's supposed to do, oh, it's supposed to figure out, I cannot think my way out of this situation. Of course you can't. Einstein says, the greatest scientist of all time, says, you can never find the answer to a question with the same mind that asked the question. You have to change the mind to a different perspective in order for you to be able to find the new answer that you were hoping for. So let's see the brain for what it is. It is a device that is supposed to help you survive and do that with the least amount of calories. Cool, perfect. Now we move on to the next part. Okay, now how does it do that? Well, it does that through 2 different methods. One is a subconscious mind, which is the autopilot part of the brain. So everything that we do for over 45 days, or anything that you think for over 45 days repetitively, it becomes now a part of your subconscious mind, because the brain says, well, I guess we've been doing this long enough. These neurons have been firing together for so long that these neural pathways that were firing together are now literally wiring together. You could see this under microscope now, where they create these permanent pathways that become known as habits. So every time something happens, which is a trigger, which is what starts that thought or emotional state, then the body knows automatically what to do with it. It's like when the moment you scream, your body turns around and knows what to do to respond to it. Or the moment your phone rings, your body automatically knows what process to go through, where the button is to even pick up. You don't even need to look at the screen anymore. Your finger goes literally where it's supposed to be touching. Because this is all built into the muscle memory through your subconscious part of the brain that takes up the ordinary decisions that you're committing yourself to for a period of between 30 to 90 days, depends on how many, who you ask, but the average is 45 days. Anything that happens inside of you, in terms of a thought or in terms of a doing or in terms of a feeling, for over 45 days, now goes from the level of conscious into the subconscious mind, where your body learns now how to do it without even thinking about it. Now what happens is, as I said, by the time we know now, by 35 years old, 95% of our day-to-day conscious waking hours is operating at the level of autopilot, from the habits of the yesterdays and the yesteryears. Which means 95% of our decisions, feelings, and things we do and don't do by the time we are 35 today is the same as it was yesterday. Look at your own life for a second and see if that's true or not. Today, you're doing 95% the same thing as you would do yesterday, or the day before, or the day before, with a 5 to 10% variance. You would feel the same feelings, you would do the same things and not do, and you would think the same things. And because here's the thing, because we're constantly living in a familiar past, essentially, that's what we're doing. It's a familiar past. I know it's been 95% every day, like the day before. I could expect a predictable future, which is meaning what? 95% tomorrow is going to be the same as now. Which is why so many people get caught up in the path and in the loop of, I can't change. Life is so difficult to change. Where in fact it's not. If you have a coffee or a tea, it's a good time to drink on it, or your water, actually. Okay, going back to the brain, because anxiety and stress, today's conversation, we're going to have to come back to this. We have an hour together and it's only been 27 minutes. So for any of you that have to drop out, you could just subscribe and come back and watch the next video, or come back and watch this, okay? But this is very important. What I'm giving you today in 1 hour is what I had to learn over 35 years, and it took me just the COVID to lose everything I had built, and over $1 million in investment, and so many years of now post-COVID going to different classes, different programs, the Tony Robbins, the Alex Hormozis, the Sabri Subis, the Grant Cardones, the Russell Brands, the anybody under this planet, Sadhguru, Joe Dispenza, Deepak Chopra's, go to every program for 3 years, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on educating myself with the best information available on this planet from the best people who have been all self-made billionaires and millionaires, willing to share their findings. I'm sharing them all with you. And I'm not asking for anything. All I'm saying is I'm here advocating for you. I love you. I'm here literally for you. Yes. No, not for the person, other person, for you. If this is the first time you're watching this, this is exactly for you. Nothing's being sold here. Just selling you your own dreams, and how having a life without anxiety is 100% possible. It has become so bad in our society today that stress management has become a phenomenon. You shouldn't have to manage stress. Stress should not be there. You're not here to experience a stressful life. If that's your life right now, if that's your life quality right now, that just means that your brain is constantly focusing on something and giving it the meaning. Remember, that was the second question. When I focus on something, what meaning do I give it? It's giving it a wrong meaning. So, for example, I see my credit card. I see the mail, I go to it. Before I even walk to my mailbox, I'm like, oh God, what am I going to be getting? What kind of bill is going to come through today? It's going to be another bill that I have to pay that I don't have the money for. Oh God. So here's the thing, you get to the mailbox, you open the mailbox, the moment you see that mail from your bank, from your credit card, you already feel like shit to begin with. Okay, hold on a second. How did that happen? We got to rewind this. You were walking towards your mailbox. I want to propose a different scenario. How many times you were walking towards your mailbox where you ordered something from Amazon or a different place and you were just so excited every time you didn't know if it's there? You're walking to it, you're like, yes, I'm gonna just find it today. And then you open it and you're like, oh no, it's not there. And you would find that same bill from your credit card and you would just be like, oh, well, whatever. And you'll just keep on walking. It would not bother you because you didn't walk into that step, into that spot with the same thought of the same attention on that I'm going to find a bill that I don't have the money for. That means I am broke. I don't have money. You did not walk into that same mailbox with that same thought. You were walking to the mailbox with, yes, I'm going to find my package. It's here. I know I ordered it. I know I'm so excited for it. You open this mailbox and it goes like, you're like, oh no. But then you don't actually go like, oh no, you just take it and then you go home and then you just actually throw it on one side, or you just even open it and you're like, ah, whatever, I'll deal with that later. See, two different outcomes, same person. I guarantee you, you have experienced both of those. Okay, but what happened here? In one instance, I already feel anxious the moment I walk into it, and I already feel like, oh, that gut wrenching is coming, and oh, there's not enough money to be paid for this bill. It already puts me in a bad state. Why? Let's go back. It was question number two. You gave it a meaning. Okay, so your brain focused on I have to go walk to this and I'm going to find a mail. Of course, I know that. Now, the problem happens with anxiety and stress and fear and all of those shit feelings that don't make you good and happy in life. When we give what we focus on the meaning, we have to give it a meaning. See, our relationship comes to a screeching halt with our partner, with our neighbor, with our employee. Do you give it a meaning that my life is fucked, or do you give it a meaning that, yes, I was set free to break through? Woo! Which meaning do you want to give it? Because the meaning you give that instant to that situation creates the emotional equivalent of that meaning in your body. Okay, let's just do a recap here. Quick recap. Thoughts to the brain is that the thoughts are the language to the brain as feelings are the language to the body. So when you say I feel something, it's your body is talking to you through its language of hormones and feelings. And then when you say I am thinking something, your brain is essentially expressing itself, not your body. Your body expresses itself through feelings, and your brain expresses itself through thoughts. By the way, I just want to throw this dash of information in there that you are neither your body nor your thoughts. You are neither of those things. Just so we're clear, you are not the thoughts and you're not the body. You are the experiencer, the soul, the higher self, the all that there is, whatever name you want to give it. I don't want to go into the beliefs of this. So, when you focus on anything, that's the number one question your brain always asks. What do I focus on? Number two question, what does it mean? Now, the meaning you give it is going to create a feeling in your body equivalent to the meaning you just gave it. So if you give it a happy meaning, your body is going to go into excitement. It doesn't matter where it is. Have you seen videos? I was born in a war zone during war. There are still happy kids in war times. Why is that kid having fun when everybody around them is in such sorrow? Because the kid does not understand the danger. I remember as a child, one of the most earliest recollections of the childhood that I have of the siren when the missiles were incoming, they would go like, and then like it was like at nighttime and everybody would just get up and people would scream. Listen to this. Humanity needs to talk about these things. We shouldn't shy away from hearing that war is not fun. So then we as children, we wouldn't know. We would just get freaked out when our parents would get freaked out. There are so many studies on this right now. Kids don't know when to get freaked out or not. Literally, you could see videos now of experiments where they put little toddlers with snakes in a pit with snakes. The kids don't have any problem with the snakes. They actually just put their hand on the snake, they just touch it, they don't care. Unless the parents freak out. When the parents freak out, the kid gives the situation a meaning of scary, holy shit, mama's pups crying, dad's upset, I gotta be freaked out. Ah, the kid also starts crying. I remember this because I experienced this. The experience was so traumatic. For one instance, I remember when I was 2, 3 years old, it was just in a bunker with everybody, and people were like crying, and it was dark. And I just remember my mom and dad just hugging me, and I was so little. That's all I remember. We don't remember much from those years, but what I'm trying to tell you is 60% of the 95% of the thoughts that repeat in our mind, 60,000 thoughts that repeat, 60% of that is given to us between the ages of inception of the embryo, 9 months before birth, all the way until 7 years old, where we don't even remember any of it. I'm just saying, I have a few of those recollections. We all have a few. That's it, at best. Yet 60% of what we think is a danger or what we think is not a danger is based out of the 7-year-old already. So do you see where I'm going with this? The meaning of anxiety that your brain is giving to things that it focuses on have been acquired, more than 60% of them, by the time you're 7 years old. That's why phobias develop. One of the things we are trained on is, as neurolinguistic programming practitioners, to be able to help our clients deal with phobias and anchors in one session, in 2 sessions. One thing is done, it's demolished, no more. The reason we can do this is because we understand how they are developed and where they come from. It's very much possible. It happens all the time. You could go to any NLP expert. If they're good at what they do, in 2, 3 sessions, any phobia is dealt with. Even phobias of pets, of snakes, of dogs, of anything. All of them. Okay, so let's come back to this. The 3 questions that the brain asks. What do I focus on? Very important. That's why you must protect and guard your attention. Your attention is under attack constantly. The 5% of your conscious attention every day that you do have, everybody wants a piece of that 5%. Remember, 95% is automatically on autopilot of your time and of your thoughts and of your emotions and feelings. You have 5% available to you every day that you get to create consciously. This time, by the way, which is why I'm so honored for every one of you who are here, and I'm doing my best to give you everything that I have and everything that I can. This attention is the most valuable thing that we have as human beings. So protect your attention. Because what you focus on, where your attention goes, energy follows. Wherever attention goes, energy follows. If I got you right now, if you're driving, obviously don't do this. If you're operating machinery, don't do this. But if you're not, for 1 second, I want you to do this, please. Do this so that you could see what I'm saying. Do this for a second. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Okay, take one more deep breath. And sigh it out. Good. Now, what I want you to do is to don't open your eyes, keep your eye closed. Put your attention at the top of your head and just touch your head lightly and let it go. And now, where you touch your head, put your attention there. Okay, put your attention there, and you will see with your eyes closed, when you put your attention there, it's like you could feel your skull. Of course you could. It's inside you. You are inside yourself. It's like called the system diagnosis. This is exactly what you could do with your computer when you do a self-diagnosis control. The system looks inside itself. I want you to look inside yourself. See, I want you to control your attention. This is literally called the attention gymnasium. That's why, by the way, meditation is the attention gymnasium. All meditation is the attention gymnasium. It's the gym for attention. You know how you go to the gym to work out your body with the weights, which you should? You go to meditate to work out your attention. Controlling your attention. Because right now, for most of the population, the moment you close your eyes, instead of your attention going to the top of your head, your brain goes like, why is my eyes closed? Why am I listening to this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Why am I even listening? Why am I even here? Yo, let's go and get on that Instagram, bro. Let's get those reels. That's it. That's what your brain says the moment you close those eyes. Who's this guy talking? That's what your brain says. So, you see, as humans, we are very predictable. We all want to think we are unique and, oh, my life is so special. I'm sorry. This is good news. But our lives are not very special. We are very much alike, and we behave the same at a neurological, at a physiological level. We are 100% all identical, same machine, same operational basis. That's why we have the doctors that could understand all of our bodies, despite whether you're Chinese, African, American, Asian, doesn't matter. Middle Eastern, doctors can work on all of us. You see, physiological level, 100%. Psychological level, 100% the same. What do you think? You think we're different? No. See, the thing is, we have a lot of formulas of how we built up our own lives. The formulas are a few, about 9 or 10 different patterns of formulas that we could fall into. But then the rest of it is just like the game, right? Like you just make it your own version and you fill up the blanks. But the formula is the same. It's really easy to manage stress when you understand that when your brain puts its focus and attention on anything, because that's what it's doing 24/7, that's its job. Because it's, by the way, why is it trying to put its attention on things? Because it's trying to find danger and save us. It literally wants to make sure behind the bushes there is no like saber-toothed tiger about to jump at me. Does that make sense? Or somebody's not hiding around the corner, jump at me. Did you know that over 90% of women within the past week of their lives, over 90% of them feel unsafe at one point at one time? Literally physically unsafe. So this is still something that is, a lot of men don't believe this because they don't think, oh, my life's in danger when they're walking. But in women, that part of the brain is still very, very active, searching for patterns of danger because they are the prey still. So the brain has to function at a more survival level. So I want you to understand what to focus on. The brain is asking itself regardless of whether you're aware of that question or not. Now it's choosing its own attention to its own thing to focus on based on those 95% patterns of thoughts, feelings that we have acquired over decades of our lives through school, religion, culture, family, friends, all these things. We didn't make anything up. You understand? You, me, we didn't make nothing up, my friend. Sorry to tell you this. All that we are is a mishmash, every individual, of the beliefs of hundreds and thousands of different beings that have come before us, that they have passed those beliefs to each other, and somehow we acquired those beliefs in our own lives, and we kind of assembled them in the shape of who we call me, in a unique, beautiful, artistic presentation. That's what literally every human. But those beliefs, none of them are yours. None of them. Even the most foundational beliefs that you think you have of God, of existence, of earth, none of them are yours. They all come from either, if it's earth and science, from religion, from scientific researchers who put their own time to make their own meanings of what they put their attention on, and then give us the conclusion, and then based on their conclusion we go like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the truth, then I'm going to give the same meaning to whatever I see warming, because that's probably global warming. That's literally what we do through science. That's why science is also religion. Doesn't matter. Anything that gives you a form of belief so that you would use it as a rule to live by, it's the same thing. The stories of the past 1,000 generations, we call them religion. Every culture has its own religious stories. Science is its own story. By the way, the scientific story changes all day, every day. That's why scientists a little bit are different than religious people, because religious people fight to keep their beliefs. Scientists, at least until recently, until before COVID, they were very open to the concept that science changes every day as we have new findings. So of course science is going to change. The beliefs will change. We just adapt with new best findings that define our understandings of what it is that we were focusing on. That's what they used, all scientists used to be like before COVID. Then all of a sudden after COVID, a wedge started where it was like some scientists believe that the science is done. Now we don't need any more research. We know the vaccine is good, no more research necessary. And then everybody was like, bro, what are you talking about? This is a new concept of mRNA vaccines, and no research has been done on this, and no long term. They're like, no, no, we don't need research. Good. This company says it's good. They're selling it. Therefore, we should take them at their own word. It is good. Okay. They were not scientists. Those were the same religious people that now are taking their science as their religion, and they're fighting to keep what they believe. And always remember this: you get to keep every belief that you fight for. All yours, my friend. Nobody wants those beliefs. You want to fight to keep them? No problem, keep them. I just want you to understand, none of those are yours. So the beliefs of I'm weak, I'm not able, I'm not helped, I'm not protected, I'm not bodied, I am not beautiful, I am not strong, I am not wise, any of these things, versus the I am wise, I am strength, I am wealth, I am abundance, I am resourceful. All these beliefs are not yours. You just choose to adapt them as who you want to portray yourself out to be at this moment. And that changes all the time, because what you believe, what you're holding on to in terms of your belief now, is not the same as it was 20 years ago, and it will not be the same as it is 20. For the most part, people change very slowly. But I'm telling you, how many people do you know in your life that have changed overnight because they went through a breakup? They went through a massive loss. Change doesn't need to happen slowly and painfully. Change can happen in an instant, and it does happen. That's why, for example, as breakthrough consultants, that's why I'm saying I'm doing this every day with you guys, for you guys. This is what we do for a living, going one on one with our clients and creating this space for them where they could experience change in an instant instead of having to wait to go through 10 years of pain and hardship to come to that same conclusion. And yes, the people who are most successful do this to become even more successful, because they realize that you're not competing with others, and you cannot compare yourself with others. You're only competing with yourself yesterday, today. So your own biggest limitation at any moment is your own limitations set by you. That is why it always costs us so much time, pain, blood, sweat, tear, money, health, for most of us to come to the conclusion that this belief that I'm holding on to, that I'm fighting to be the truth, is not serving me anymore. And then at one point you come to so much pain that some people are like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done. I'm done with this bullshit. Not another minute, not another second. I'm not gonna tolerate this bullshit anymore. And at that moment you just move. Instantaneously things change. We have all experienced that. So anxiety and stress come from a place of your brain focusing on what it cannot control in its own mind, and feeling like it cannot control the situation. Therefore, oh my God, I am weak and I am in danger. And therefore, it creates this negative feedback loop internally that's called stress and anxiety, that is literally your body emotionally responding to the thoughts of, I don't have control, I'm not enough, I'm not capable, I'm not abundant. All these thoughts need to now be felt with the equivalent of their emotional feeling, so that you can experience life. That's why you're having this entire experience. That's why we keep on saying you're not a corresponding agent to your circumstances. You are a creator of your circumstances. Because through what you focus on and what meaning you give it, then the next step is the brain asks itself, the last one, most important one, it asks, what do I do now? Okay, well, obviously you focus on something. If you gave it a meaning that you can't and it's pointless, then it says, okay, then I'm not going to do anything. I'm here to reserve calories anyways and help us survive. I guess we're surviving. It feels shitty right now. Fuck, I feel like I'm powerless, but holy shit, I guess I still won't do anything about it. Shit. Okay, there you go. That's the beginning of the pattern of anxious anxiety and stress. And now what do? We say, hold on a second, I can't feel shitty like this. That's not right. I gotta feel good. What do? We grab our cell phone, we go to Instagram, and we go on a mindless scrolling spree to get our cheap dopamine shots so that we feel good. Or we go have something sweet and sugary so we get that instant dopamine shot, put the body in complete toxicity state. At least I feel good for a second. I guess I'm in control of that. I could control that. Take that, bitch. I'm not in control. I'm not gonna try. Okay, guess what? I am in control of scrolling. I can scroll all day. Oh, and it feels so good. Holy shit. 5 hours went? I've been on my phone for five? What the hell? Oh shit. That 5% attention control that I had, I just played stubborn and I ignored what I was focusing on and the meaning I was giving it, because I wanted to play a victim through learned helplessness, which has been taught into all of us. which is that you're not capable, you're not able, you got to work so hard. Not everybody is talented, not everybody is gifted. All that garbage that they fed us through growing up, none of them could be further from the truth. Doesn't matter. So, no problem. Instead of doing that, I just go distract myself. And then what happens? Then the moment I get tired of this and now I have to go to sleep, guess what comes back? That same thing that I was thinking of, that comes back. Now it comes as a stress and anxiety that doesn't let me sleep. And it comes in the form of, oh, you fucking loser. See, I knew we were a loser. Of course, we can't do anything about this. Now this becomes a self fulfilling prophecy, a negative reinforcing feedback loop that keeps on making itself worse and worse and worse because we refuse to take response ability to step into the role of what? Controlling our emotional state through the meanings that we give things that we focus on, because it's all happening too fast at a subconscious level, and I don't want to spend my time focusing on that. I rather go surfing on Instagram or TikTok and get some laughs. Who wants to do that bullshit? Who wants to do that? So, my friend, whether you're watching this as a replay or whether you're live with us right now, first of all, thank you so much for being here and co-creating this with me as we're nearing the end of the hour. These conversations are deep, and as I said, even us with intentionally applying ourselves to the cause, lovingly, wantingly, we go through week-long programs to learn how to do it ourselves, how to become better mastering emotional pattern recognition machines ourselves so that we could do it for others. And if somebody wants to do it for themselves, to hopefully be able to teach them how to do this. That's what I'm doing with you. So if you only knew how much time you're saving and how much money, I'm so happy that you're here doing this for yourself, committing to your own growth. I don't want anything. All I ask for, maybe if you felt like this was helpful, is a like or a comment or a subscribe, whatever it is, so that the system understands that we're here doing good work. Because all of our social media platforms have been dormant for such a long time that, and we are changing the direction to this direction of service. Most of them were my personal channels because we are live on 6 different platforms, 14 different outlets, and they were on all different subjects. It doesn't even matter what they were. But now they're all coming under AI or by, and the intention for us is to spread the message that you can, and there is a community for you to grow. There is a growth opportunity for you without wanting to charge you money, and for people who want to support each other and grow together, because you need a community. Without a community, you can't, you won't. You're already fighting odds of 95% same thoughts, patterns, and feelings of today versus yesterday. If you don't get new people in your life who will hold you accountable, then you will just default back to that 95% every day. That's why when we feel like we are already in survival, it's so hard to get out of that state. That's where guides and helps and sages and teachers and coaches and mentors and consultants and people that are shamans, these people come at different points of our lives and just hold our hands and just pull us through. So it doesn't mean you have to spend money on it, but then so what if you have to spend money for your own growth? The Warren Buffett, the richest man on this planet, says the best money you will ever invest in your life is to invest on yourself, which is exactly what I realized when COVID happened after I lost everything, millions of dollars in lives and business. And I was like, holy shit, I put everything in the basket of business and it's all gone. Now it's time to go on to myself more than I used to before, because I was always a nerd. I was always a nerd since I was a child studying, but the perspective changed. Remember how I told you Einstein says the questions cannot be answered with the same mind that asks them? I was asking so many questions and trying to find the answers to them using the same mind that was asking them, and I was not finding the solutions that I needed. That's why everybody gets stuck, because we keep on wanting to find the answers to our own questions using our own mind, which is just a framework, as I told you, of 60,000 basically garbage that we picked up through decades of our lives. By the time we are 35 years old, we didn't even approve half of them, more than half of them. We don't even, honestly, if I was to put them under a microscope for you one by one, every decision, you would be like, I don't know, like at least 1,000 of them will go as of right now. Peace out. Because they're no longer serving you. However, at a belief level, at a deep level, they are driving all of your decisions, emotions, and thoughts. So then the question becomes how to break out of these. The principles are important for you to understand, because the tools will only work when you know what they are going to work on. If I just gave you a wrench and you didn't know what to use it on, you're going to just throw it away. But if I told you this is the one you need to open the piping under your sink when you want to change it, now you just put it under the sink and you will use it when needed. You've got to understand where the tools are going to be used. That's why it's so important to understand the manuals to operate this machine, which is why we went to the metaphor of driving. We get trained so much for driving, which is so basic, yet we don't get taught on how to operate this machine that is so complex, with its digital, with its software and hardware complexities, and all of its capabilities that I literally compare it like putting somebody inside a Formula One drive car and saying, look around you, this is very pretty. All right, cool, now you could get out. That's how we are operating this machine. We're not even turning it on. We're not even using its capacities, because we have seen what the fullest potential of humanity is. When it comes to intellect, we're taking us to the Mars, to the moon. When it comes to physics and physical abilities, all of the stunts, all of the crazy mountain climbings, all of the scuba divings, the human experience is only limited to its own limitations, not imagination. Because we've wrongly been told that we are only limited by our own imagination. No, we have an abundance of imagination. We are limited by our own limiting beliefs, anchors. Those 60,000 thoughts that we put through our own mind every day, those are what are limiting us. All right. So much love to you. Day 39. What a beautiful day it was. Tomorrow, it's going to be another beautiful day. 12 to 1 p.m. we start the event and we go on for about 1 hour live. Okay. And I love you so much. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. Your anxiety and stress should not be there. If they're there, you need to seek a way to stop that before it starts taking physical toll on your body. Those can turn into unexplained autoimmune phenomenon that will start at the body will attack itself. The immune system will attack itself. the headaches, the unknown problems, the digestive problems, the arthritis. The early onset of arthritis that's now coming to humanity is unexplainable to scientists. They have a juvenile arthritis, my friends. This is crazy. Arthritis used to be something that the elderly used to deal with. Now there is a juvenile for kids. It's because the mind is going crazy, the body is going crazy, being fed with toxins all day, every day that are not serving it, and frequency exposure is more than ever before. So, what I'm talking to you about is not thoughts, beliefs. These are science, these are studies. You're more than welcome to message us and ask us for further research on anything you want to explore on your own world more. Please, whatever you do, take action. Don't just listen to stuff. I'm not only saying for this, but other stuff that you come across. Take action, okay? I have a lot of things to do. We have a crazy week ahead of us here in Florida, where we're going to go to Miami for a big exhibition, and we're going to go to Orlando for a big exhibition and connect with so many beautiful souls in person. And I wish that I didn't, but I think for the next 7 days, we're going to miss a couple of these weekly ones when we are attending the show. Everything else I try to keep up, and I'll see you anyways on one of these. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and put the ring button so that we will be able to let you know anytime we are live if this interests you. And send it to somebody else if you think that somebody around you that you love may actually benefit from knowing how to deal with stress and anxiety. All right. So much love. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of the day or night, wherever you are.